to Change Nation. I'm here with Debra Shigley. She's the author of the Go-Getter Girl's Guide. Debra, for women who are already overwhelmed with how much they have going on in their life, what do you tell them when they sort of go, I just can't go after one more thing? There's just already too much on my plate.
Yeah. Well, you know, editing, I think, is a good skill to learn, whether it's, you know, writing a report, whether it's your wardrobe, or whether it's what you're going for in life. And I think sometimes you have to break it down, like just even make a list of, you know, these are all the things I could be going for. These, you know, I have, you know, one really interesting woman in the book talked about, she makes that like a bucket list in her life of, you know, she wants to be doing well in her, you know, in her family, in her work, in her, you know, her community involvement, all these different things. And you can't always be going full speed in every single one of those buckets. So you kind of have to prioritize. And, you know, sometimes you're going to be all about work. And maybe when you look back on it, that wasn't, you know, maybe your relationships weren't as fulfilled as you wanted them to be. But over time, I think you can reach that fulfillment.
Do you set goals?
Yes, I do set goals.
How often do you set goals?
It's on a case-by-case basis, I think, you know, right now. So with the book coming out, you know, you, over the past few months, write it down, make a plan of, you know, the marketing plan, the publicity plan, like things you want to do and what's on the agenda. You know, it kind of, sometimes I don't write them down. Like even if you're talking about, like, you know, we all think about our diets. You know, we all think about, you know, sometimes for me it's, okay, this week, you know, I'm going to try to go to Pilates twice this week and, you know, stick to it. And then if you actually do stick to it, even on that small scale, it really can be a huge confidence booster to just even take those little things, even if it's just, I'm going to have a salad for lunch today instead of like the cheeseburger. It can make a difference.
What's the difference between a go-getter girl that remains feminine and sensual and in her femininity versus someone that doesn't?
Well, I do think it's a kind of the essence of go-getter girlness in my mind is sort of an element of sensuality and stylishness and femininity. You know, granted, you know, there are all kinds of go-getter girls out there, but that in my mind was kind of one of the components of it. And I think, you know, I think that is a sort of a different version of the working woman that we're seeing more and more now. You know, we saw it a little bit with like Sex and the City, you know, these like power women and like Lipstick Jungle, and these were, you know, sort of characters. But those women are everywhere, like in the work world, and they're just the women who kind of seem like they have it all together, like everything's so easy and effortless. But there really is work, and there's, you know, it's you know, it's something that if you want to be like that too, you can be like that too.
So there's really nothing women can't go after.
Yeah, I mean, that's my opinion, sure.
What is something that you are going after now? Like, what is Debra, the go-getter girl, going to go get?
The book process has kind of spurred a transition for me because I was doing law for like a brief period of time, and the book sort of gave me, I would say, a natural exit from a career path that I wasn't sure was the right one to begin with. And so, you know, my goal is just to, you know, continue to hopefully, you know, do more books and kind of, you know, talk to women who have amazing stories to share and, you know, get to that next level of, you know, as authors, people talk about like platform building and those kinds of things. And that's where I'd like to go.
So on the show, we're all about change, as you know. So I have a couple of specific change questions.
Okay.
What is the best change you've ever made?
The best? I think becoming a non-procrastinator. And that was a very quick transition that happened the first week of law school when I was you know, working full-time and started law school at night. I kind of thought it was going to, and this is very naive of me to think it was going to be like a hobby. Like I liked school, I liked, you know, learning, and I just kind of, I liked the job I had during the day, and I just kind of signed up for law school and started. And it was it's very intense. Anyone who's done grad school or college, anything, it can be very intense. And I would even say that first 30 days was one of the most difficult periods, because you're kind of thinking, oh, why did I do this? This is so intense. Like, how can I do this? But it stripped every single procrastination bone out of my body over the next, I would say, even after those first couple months. And my writing style changed. I am now someone, some writers sort of wait for the inspiration, but it really taught me, no, you don't just wait for the inspiration. You just dive in, you do it, edit later. And I think that can apply to many areas of your life. You just don't have to wait for that perfect moment. Just start where you are and go back later and edit what you don't like.
What is your motto? What is that thing you always tell yourself? Whether you're in a low moment, a great moment, like what's the disc in your head? I kind of want to get in there and sort of make sure we hear it from you.
No, I mean, I really like, my dad is a very spiritual kind of person. There's a lot of yoga in his days and things like that. And I think it's a Buddhist proverb that is, when the student is ready, the teacher is there. And I think I sort of replay that a lot in my mind, because I think sometimes you want to be at a certain place and you think, okay, why isn't this clicking, or why isn't this working? And then maybe later on in retrospect, you found someone who really gave you that piece of wisdom or really helped you go the direction you wanted to go. And you're like, wow, I was ready for it then, and that person came into my life at the right time. And I think that's, if you just, it's kind of an intangible thing to sort of grab onto, but I think it can help.
What I'm going to tell our viewers and our listeners is, I think you're showing up as the teacher for a lot of people, a lot of girls, a lot of women, a lot of people who might not know where they're going. I think that's probably going to be like, who you are here in the world. So all I can say is get the book, The Go-Getter Girl's Guide. Debra really does know what she's talking about, not only through experience, but interviewing hundreds of women that we would all consider as go-getter girls. For more information about her and her book, please visit her website, which is www.debrashigley.com, and that's spelled DebraShigley. Is that right? I got it right?
Yes.
.com. Debra, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
For more interesting people, experts, interviews, inspiration, information on all types of different life changes, anything you might be experiencing right now, please be sure to check us out at changenation.com. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching.